It's Vibe, it's 6:08, you're listening to me, Benji Potter, with you till 7 o'clock on your Vibe Drive, brightening up your gloomy Monday afternoon. That was just Niall Horan there with Black and White. Now, I'm thrilled to be able to say we have Peter Taylor with our Ask the Mayor Mondays on the line now. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Benji.
There's nothing pre-recorded or produced about this show. This is all live radio, folks. It's happening here in Watford. Listen, Peter, right, well, we've had our fun. No, listen, lots of people this afternoon will have been glued to the TV, radio, websites, looking at how this new 3-tier lockdown system will affect them. Am I right to say that in Watford and South West Herts, largely life will be unchanged?
We still need to confirm that. So obviously we're not in the top tier, so tier 3. Lots of northern councils are affected by that. But the number of cases is going up in Watford, so we'll either be in tier 1 or tier 2. And we'll wait to see all the details that follow these announcements to see the exact impact on local residents. Of course, the key thing is if we want to keep the numbers down, we've got to follow the advice and keep distance and keep washing our hands and keep wearing masks and following all of that, so we can make sure we don't end up seeing a huge increase in cases like we've seen in other parts of the country. Well,
in line with the cases going up then, is what I've said incorrect? Could we be seeing a change? What do you expect as the Mayor?
We won't be in the top tier. As I say, we will either be in tier 1 or tier 2, and there could be changes that would flow from that. So, for example, restrictions on especially people meeting indoors. But we've got to see the detail of that before we can make the formal announcement. And I know there's lots of discussion going on in the background, and hopefully in the next few hours it'll be clearer about the change for Watford. But the main message is, we were seeing cases of kind of 20 to 30 cases per 100,000 people about a month ago. That's now risen in Watford to about 70 or 80 cases. In other parts of the country, they've got 400 plus cases. So it's not as bad as other places, but we have seen a significant increase, and we need to all be vigilant. Otherwise, we'll end up having the same rules applying here.
How confident are you about our economic stability and the safety of hospitality venues to be able to keep operating if we had to put in tougher restrictions, if we had to close them down? Do you feel like the national government is giving you enough support?
To be honest, I think there needs to be more support. I know that, again, those places like Liverpool that are seeing a bigger lockdown are really concerned about the impact on the hospitality industry. Employs millions of people. They've had a very, very difficult year already, and to have this on top of it. And of course, the run-up to Christmas being such an important time for the hospitality industry. So, I know that money is tight for the government, but I do think they need to be as generous as possible, because, once you start having an economic downturn and the spiral downwards, it's very difficult to turn around. So I do think they need to support the hospitality trade as much as they can.
Now, this time's been largely a time of reflection. We've been able to look at our own community. Now, one of the huge travel projects which had very much been on the cards, almost probably for the last 10 years, was the Metropolitan Line extension. A few weeks ago, Watford Observer ran a piece saying some of the land had been sold off for that extension. Is there still some life in those plans? I know that this extension all the way to Croxley meant a lot to local residents.
Yeah, it's a huge project, obviously linking the Metropolitan Line from Croxley all the way to Watford Junction. A lot of it's a disused rail line. The article you talked about was more to do with the car park at one of the stations, and so it's not about selling off the line itself. All I can say is that I've written to the Prime Minister, having lots of discussions again in the background, and we do think that there will be a scheme there eventually. I think it makes so much sense to have that link for people that travel on the Met Line, want to get to Watford Junction. So we've not lost hope, and there's still lots of work going on in the background. Hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement in the next few months, because we need better transport infrastructure so that people can get around the town, and especially linking the Met Line to the Hertfordshire's busiest train station, Watford Junction, would make a lot of sense. So we're still trying to get that to make progress.
I think people are going to be elated that I'm not, as we say, this is not confirmed, but elated that as our mayor, you're striving to get this project back on. I know just how disappointed people were when it was dropped. Was it in 2016?
So actually the first meeting I had as mayor pretty much was with Transport for London when they said the scheme is dead, it's timed out, and that was the initial plan that had been worked on for many, many years, and it was to do with, basically the Mayor of London said he didn't want any of the risk associated with the project, and TfL have got their own financial difficulties, so we've been kind of looking around at different ways of making it happen, and so, as I say, there's nothing formally agreed yet, but I think the government talk about shovel-ready schemes, wanting to improve the transport infrastructure. Watford's still a town that's growing, and so I'm really, trying everything we can in the background to make some progress on it, and hopefully there'll be an announcement, in the next few months about that.
Wonderful news. And also, I should hasten to add, Beryl Bikes, big news while I was away from this show, sponsored by Camelot. Hello, hooray. It's great news.
Yeah, Camelot are great. I mean, obviously they're based just outside Watford, and great company and doing lots to support the community. So they're sponsoring Beryl Bikes, which have been a big success. We've got thousands of people using them every week. They've also been really generous in supporting the Watford Community COVID Appeal, which has given lots of money to local charities. So it's great to have them in the town. They employ hundreds of people, but they're also really keen to support the local community, which is fantastic.
And just before I let you go, I was absolutely over the moon to see Clarendon Road back open, long awaited. I'm not sure what they were doing to that road, but probably most of it goes above the untrained eye, or beyond the untrained eye. What do I know about roads? But I have to say, Peter, where's the cycle lane? Because we're all about the Beryl Bikes. And
I know. On that, Benji, so the road, I don't think you're a driver, are you? But the road was probably the most uneven road in Watford.
I am a driver. I've got a little pink car. You can't miss it.
So a lot of work went on in making that road surface a lot better, but then widening the pavement. What we've done, because the traffic will be slow, it would be better for cyclists, but also parallel to Clarendon Road, there's a new quiet way for cyclists to use to link the station to the high street. So, as you say, very keen to improve facilities for cyclists as well in the town.
Oh, that's great to know. So is that the road that's behind our Vibe studio?
Exactly, yeah, those ones there. So
brilliant.
You just go along St John's Road and all of that. So, yeah, you can get from the station to the high street that way. Great,
that's really good to know. Peter, it's been a delight. Maybe one day you'll need a local celebrity to cut the ribbon on the Met line. Until then, we'll keep hassling Prime Minister Boris Johnson to make it happen. I'll speak to you on Monday, all right?
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. That's Peter Taylor, the mayor there, and he keeps us informed, entertained, and we'll keep talking to him every Monday on Vibe 107.6.